Hey, so at the end of the last video I decided I needed to order a couple of new parts in order to widen the roof by 1/2 inch. I ordered those parts, and while I was waiting for them to arrive, I decided to finalize the bottom section so I wouldn't have to backtrack later. I took the walls and roof off, removed the 2x4s, and started working on finishing the access door. I had some leftover stainless steel continuous hinge that I used to attach it to the frame, and decided to put some aluminum angles and flat bars on the inside to give the door something to push on and make a seal. To make them fit perfectly, I machined some holes. My dad had actually just gotten a mini mill, so after learning how to use it on some scrap material, I cut some oval holes in the flat bars and angles so I could adjust them and make sure the door was sealing correctly. I then cut the flat bar and angles to size with the miter saw. I also used the mill to widen the holes of the hinges so they would fit the bolts I got from T-nuts. As I went to put the 2x4s back on, I noticed that they were not sitting straight at all. This was a huge problem and had actually been causing issues in earlier stages, but I had assumed the wooden walls were crooked, not the extrusion. My first theory was that this was caused by there being only two 80-20 butt fasteners on one side of the 2x4s. So I ordered new fasteners, took the 2x4s off, and brought them over to my parents' place to bore new holes. I punctiliously joined the 2x4s again with the new fasteners, and they were still not sitting straight. This meant that the cuts from T-nuts weren't straight. I had been hoping this wasn't the case because I knew it would be a real pain to make perfectly straight cuts with my miter saw. I squared the blade and the sliding fence as best I could and started cutting. I eventually got some straight cuts and started putting everything back together. The 2x4s are now a little shorter and the cuts aren't perfect, but it will do and is definitely an improvement. Reassembly was a little bit more complicated with the fasteners on the bottom blocking the rails, but it wasn't so bad. I got the access door installed and I'm super happy with how it turned out. The aluminum angles and aluminum flat bars are super sturdy and there's just enough room for some weather stripping, which will make a great seal. So that's the end of this video, and in the next video I'll show the finalized version of the folding walls.